This is the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with your host, Vicki Davis.
Today's sponsor is EVERFI. April is Financial Literacy Month, and they have fantastic free digital lessons for K-12 students. Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn more about these valuable lessons. Episode 799, Cool AR, VR Classroom Ideas with Jaime Donally. So today we're talking with my friend Jaime Donally, AR VR expert, about her top 10 AR VR teaching resources. Now, Jaime, you're kind of an expert in this area. Do you want to tell us, first of all, where you have many more resources than just these 10?
Yeah, I blog a lot and it's at my site, arvrinedu.com. So arvrinedu.com. Over 200 blogs available for people to check out for immersive technology resources.
So, where do we start? What's your first?
Okay, well, first off, I am running an event this month called 31 Days of AR, VR, and EDU. Started this is my 5th year of doing this, and I decided that March was always that low key month. So I was going to write a blog every single day, and March is not a low key month anymore. So it's year 5. It's like, whoo, what was I thinking in March? But here we go. There's just every day you're going to hear about different resources. So I'll share some of the ones that have been published as of now, some of the ones that I'll be talking about. First off, I'm super excited about the way we can do 3D scanning. So we can scan in objects with our mobile devices using LiDAR, photogrammetry, even photorealism, using some of the technologies to be able to capture things through photos and to be able to create 3D objects from those photos. So one of the tools that I shared is Luma AI, and that one is really cool. It allows you to capture things. Again, it guides you to walk around and capture different objects, and then it can convert that into 3D objects, which you can use for 3D printing. You can use it for augmented reality scenes and virtual reality scenes that you want to upload it into. So what's great about this is we keep talking about the metaverse, where we're going with that, and there is no metaverse without 3D content. So those digital assets that we have to have are now capable for our students to be able to capture, as opposed to designing them from scratch. So that would be the first.
So when it came out, I think I had seen it on your Twitter feed. I had I had an Apple on my desk. So I got on my phone, downloaded it, and I had some 8th graders who scanned the apple, and then we took the STL file and exported it and pulled it in and printed it on my MakerBot. So they printed a small scale version of the apple that was on my desk. The only thing that was challenging is because it was round. You have to scan it just right. There were 1 or 2 little slices that somehow we missed, but I still keep that by the 3D printer as, hey, we took an apple in real life and scanned it and put it on there. And that was my 8th graders that did it. And it was fantastic. Like, there's so many things you can do with 3D scanning real world and then pulling it into AR and VR or 3D printing it.
Actually, just at FETC and at TCEA this year, I did events where they went through the process of doing the full scan. So they went through understanding, what is this technology? How does it work? What kind of devices do you need? To the next level being, let's scan. So then they got to scan, and everybody wanted to scan themselves. So everybody scanned another person. They had these little 3D objects. We call them our little mini-me's. And then they went into the next station where they actually uploaded that into augmented reality, and they put it into the merge cube. So then they were holding their 3D self in their hands. And then the fourth and last station was them going into a virtual reality experience and uploading their 3D objects. So they got to see kind of the concept of what this is, actually physically doing it themselves, and then uploading it into these immersive spaces to see the whole process. The Object Viewer app allows you to upload your own 3D objects if you go to Merge Dashboard. Everything that you scan then can be loaded there. If you use CoSpaces, you can upload your 3D objects in there as well. So, I do a lot of the virtual reality meeting spaces, Mozilla Hubs, for instance. So you can bring in your 3D objects to be able to design and build spaces for people to come into. Spatial is one that I just shared an update on. You can actually, in the app, upload your scanned object in the app. You can see everybody floating around while they're there live in your office or in your classroom. Everybody is floating around in augmented reality as well. So in VR, I could be on here on my headset or my computer, and then AR and spatial, I can actually see everybody walking around in my physical space, and my 3D objects I can literally scan with them sitting right there. It's just insane.
Oh, yes, and this summer at ISTE when I attended virtually, I believe I attended some of your sessions and ran around in your Mozilla hubs, didn't I? It seems
Um,
like forever ago.
At ISTE, I'll be doing this process too. So the LiDAR scanning for people to go through this process and see what this means. I think it's just we're hitting the tip of the iceberg because as we move into more of the AI aspect of it, what does this mean when we're converting those 3D objects to be able to manipulate them? So I took, an avatar that I created in Ready Player Me, and then Ready Player Me, I then took that and uploaded it into another app, Deep Motion, where I created a video talking, and then it took my avatar and did all those same motions. And then I converted that into an augmented reality 3D object that then I held in my hand with my merge cube. So, when you think about how all of this functions and how this works, it's all going to be a piece of what the skill sets our students need to have for that future.
Because really, I mean, once you've got it in one place, then you can move it into all the other spaces. So I will mention co-spaces because you got me onto co-spaces, and I had this amazing project with my computer science students where they have to build a theme-based roller coaster inside co-spaces. And it's such a fun project. They have to just think differently. We just use the really cheap headsets because they use their phones to experience the space. So it's not like you have to spend a ton of money to do AR and VR, is it?
Right. As a matter of fact, most people don't even use headsets. I think that oftentimes it's very limiting to have headsets to what you want to do in a classroom. How many students could be on them, the safety around them, all of the above. But when it comes to using co-spaces, what's awesome is it's flexible enough for iPads, for Android tablets, for mobile devices, for Chromebooks, for computers, and VR headsets. So all of the above is available for you to be flexible with that. What they've experienced is already taking place in their mobile device. So every student, most kids are bringing mobile devices to their schools today, or there could be a cart maybe the school provides or something to that extent, or even the teacher just demoing what that student has created and it being projected up there on the screen. So there's a lot of options out there, but really them creating it without being limited to maybe just having an iPad, I think that's really promising.
So let me ask you this question. Somebody comes up to you and says, "Okay, Jamie, prove to me that AR and VR are not just parlor tricks, that it has application in everyday classrooms." What is your 2 to 3 minute elevator pitch about the practicality of these tools?
Yeah, I think that we need to start thinking about the diversity of our students and how they learn. I got to witness personally it benefit my own daughter in the way that she was learning spelling words when she has dyslexia. I got to personally witness the power of this technology and how that spatial learning impacted her. I share that story a lot, but it's true. I got to see it firsthand and I discounted it myself. And I share these resources. I thought, wow, Hangman and AR. But that spatial learning aspect of what our students need to be prepared for their upcoming world, as well as allowing the content to speak to them in a way that's going to resonate and it's going to be relatable and it's going to be something that is now in their real world. We talk about real world experiences in education all the time. Well, bam, we have it in our real world now. So this is something that becomes applicable to their real world and certainly where they're going with technology in the future. Our students need these skills for where they're going to be going and what future careers they're going to have.
So much of it will be 3D. Are there some super practical apps that you mentioned that are like low hanging fruit for teachers to be able to just go in and teach a cool lesson?
GeoGeek AR, I shared that one's specific to learning geography, but having that world in front of you. What's different about this tool is that I'm not just looking at this two-dimensional map, if you will, and identifying where things are at and memorizing spots. But instead, the world comes to life in front of you, and you have to go in and you have to navigate that map and identify where things are located. That's an example. I just released Adobe Aero last night. That one's really good. It's free. It is right now iOS specific, although there is an upcoming release for Android. Some future updates. Right now it's beta, so you can download it on Android, but it's still like in its infancy. But that one allows you to make a lot of great scenes in your mobile devices to be able to easily actually share with other people using app clips. And that one is great because that's universal. You can use it for anything, and you can upload your own 3D content that you scanned in or designed, and to be able to share those AR scenes easily with people, even if they don't have the Adobe Aero app. I feel like I'm sharing a lot of updates from products, a lot of things that are coming out that has come out this past year. And to be quite honest, it's never ending, right? There's always going to be another tool release, but the concepts of what we're getting our students prepared for, it doesn't matter what app is released, they'll be prepared with the skills that they need to have to navigate it.
Jamie is an expert in this area, so much to learn from her. And she just helped me write my next project for CS, which makes me really, really happy. We're going to do some really cool stuff because I want them to scan 3D objects. I want them to pull it into an experience. I want them to link it to the real world with NFC tags so people can go through and experience things. And this is exciting and so many apps. So thanks, Jamie. Everyone remembers that teacher, the study hall teacher who walked you through your first college application, or the social studies teacher who taught you what taxes were and how to file them, the math teacher who used student loans to show you how interest worked. Well, you can be that teacher, and EVERFI wants to help you make that kind of impact with free digital lessons for K through 12 students. From budgeting and banking to credit and savings, you'll find a financial literacy topic that's right for your classroom. And especially during April, Financial Literacy Month, there's no better time to equip students with smart decision making around finances. Learn how you can share these free resources with students and give them a financial foundation that lasts a lifetime. Just go to coolcatteacher.com/EVERFI. That's coolcatteacher.com/EVERFI. Thanks, EVERFI, for sponsoring today's episode.
You've been listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. If you like this program, you can find more at coolcatteacher.com. If you wish to see more content by Vicki Davis, you can find her on Facebook and Twitter under Cool Cat Teacher. Thank you for listening.